Oh, there's dust all over the lens. Start that over.
Oh, there's dust all over the lens.
Hello, the internet, and welcome back to Road Hazard. Today, calamity. Got 5 liter with cracked block. We're gonna rip all the front dress off of that guy, and that'll come out of here. That's gone forever. And it's going to be bolted to this guy here. This is a 1965 HiPo 289 V8. This engine came out of a 65 Fairlane that I had. Fairlane 500. It was a great car until I stuffed it into the back of a Chrysler 200 and broke both my hands. But so we're going to rip this engine down, get her all cleaned up, get all the front dress off, get the oil pan off, and get her all nice and cleaned up. We're going to shoot some paint at it. And then we're going to put it in the Mustang. Now, the thought process here was the stock 5 liter that came in this car was factory rated at 140 roaring horsepower, whereas this engine is factory rated at 270 horsepower. But we're also going to put those heads we bought on it. We're going to put some headers on it, and it's got an Edelbrock Performer manifold, and we're going to put a nice carburetor on it. So hopefully we'll be somewhere in the 300 horsepower area. Which is double the power that this car had from the factory. So it should be a little more fun to scoot around that way. We're also doing a smog delete to get all of the gobbledygook out of there. This is all completely unnecessary. And we have a Summit carb over there. We showed that in the last video. We can throw that all down there. But that's what's happening today. Get her all painted up, nice and churchy, and ready to stuff into the Mustang. Okay, we're both wet, but we have finished removal of everything we need off this motor except the oil pan. The engine has to be out to get that. So that'll be another day, but we got most of the front dress torn off of our little small block here, 289. It's kind of scattered to the wind. But now that we have everything we need off the 5.0, again, except the oil pan, we can start disassembling and cleaning our 289 the rest of the way and prepping all that other stuff to bolt on to this motor with parts off both to make this quasi thing run. Basically, we need to use the harmonic balancer off the 289 because it's balanced for a 289 with the rest of the 302 pulleys. So probably going to want to get a new harmonic balancer because this one's got like 100,000 miles on it. It's starting to crumble a little. Could use it, but I want to drive this car a lot, and I have to drive it 3,000 miles to Florida. So we're going to go ahead and, I guess, replace that. So I'll have to order one of them. We got a nice box full of bits that we're actually going to reuse. Teardown continues. Next step, we have the 289 off the stand on the ground here on a tire. We are going to pull these, well, the whole front of this engine off and the top here to get her all cleaned up. So we're going to pull the heads off, the intake, the valve covers, distributor, the what's left of the water pump, front dress, and give this thing a good bath and get it real clean because we're going to paint it once we get the new heads on it, because I do have head gaskets today. So I think we'll set up the time lapse and get cracking on that. All right, so as you saw, we're done. Engine's on a stand. It looks pretty good in there. So the current plan is we're going to throw the GT40 heads on the motor with some new head gaskets, obviously. What?
I just lost my slipper.
You lost a slipper? We're going to bolt the heads up, and then once the heads are on, we're going to clean the ever-living piss out of this thing to get it ready for paint. And hopefully, if we can get it all cleaned up, bolted together with no calamity, we will see fresh, shiny VHT paint on this engine before the end of the day. So that's the plan. So this is where we're stopping for today. We have a soaking and degunked 289 GT40 heads. The goop is literally just melting off this thing, which is awesome because she's spongy. But the heads already look amazing. They weren't that dirty. I did clean them up a little bit before. You guys saw that. But the sconge is coming off the block pretty good. I'm not super concerned about the pan. These valve covers are just on there to keep the inside dry. Same with this intake. So we're not worried about that stuff. Also, the timing cover, not a huge deal because all that stuff is being replaced. Partly because the stuff we pulled off the 289 we will need, or the 302 rather, we will need for the serpentine belt system, and partially because, like most of these do, they're cracked. So we're not going to reuse this. So we're not super worried about that. Basically, we just want to get the block cleaned up so we can shoot some paint at it. Now, we are going to have to reuse the oil pan that's on the 302. So we'll need to pull the engine to get the pan off to clean it up before it can go on here, get painted with the rest of the car, or the engine. But that's another time. I'm going to let this sit right here and kind of drip for probably another hour, and then maybe I'll come out and spray it one more time. And after that, we'll push her inside, and it'll be nice and clean and ready to go for next time. I'm going to be out here again tomorrow. Next time for me is not next time for you, because I make one video a week, but I come out here multiple days a week to make those videos. So, you know. Yeah. Anyway, that's what's going to happen. So this is where I'm going to leave it off today. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, probably. Maybe. Probably. Oh, my eyes are so red. Ow. Good morning, everybody. I'm not on drugs. I'm not tired. I sprayed brake clean in my eye, so I put safety glasses on after that, because that's what you do. I washed my eyes out in the sink for like 15 seconds. Don't worry about it. I probably won't go blind. We'll see. Anyway, I was out here late last night, and for about the last 45 minutes cleaning up this 289. And if you've never seen an old iron V8 all the way down to bare metal, have I got a treat for you, because this thing looks great. Ignore the spongy oil pan, because we're not using it, so I didn't clean it. But the heads and the block on this thing look great. almost ready for paint. So I'll get you in here, don't worry. I went a little overkill. I used 3 cans of degreaser and 2 cans of brake clean to get it to look like this. But it also required 0 pressure washing, which was nice. But look at that. Isn't that insane? No dirt, no oil, no nothing. This is going to look slick with a couple coats of paint on it. Unreal. Like I said, ignore the pan. We're not using the pan, so I didn't clean it. But that is one sweet looking 289. Oh, Ford Motor Company 289 GT40 heads. So headers should be here by the end of the week. I was really hoping to have those on by the time this video goes out. And if they get here early enough on Friday, I might just film a quick little bit, throw it in the video, and then upload. But don't hold your horses for that one. But yeah, I mean, wow. It came out great. I cannot wait to mask this thing off and paint it. It's gonna look so good. The color I've chosen is a little unorthodox, but I can think of one other instance of somebody doing this, so kind of excited. We do need the pan off of this car. We need the timing cover off of the car, which is actually over there. I got to clean that up still too. And we'll slam that on there with some new seals, but we can't do that until we have a new pan. So we're going to wait to do that part, but I'm going to tape off the lifter valley and the head ports and the exhaust ports, and then cover the front accoutrements with some tin foil, tape off the water jacket ports, and then we will shoot some paint at this thing. Isn't that something? It's going to look really, really good, I promise. Got the intake and the timing cover soaking in degreaser right now. These are the last 2 parts that we have to clean up. The new oil pan should be here Thursday. Today is Tuesday. So that'll be, I mean, that's a brand new part that comes in primer, so all we have to do is paint it. We'll drain the oil out of the pan here and take that pan off, and then we're going to start putting this stuff together so that when the pan gets here, all we have to do is and then, you know, something like that anyway. Oil pan's off. It's right there. Luckily, everything down here looks real good. No surprises, no chunks, no bits, no bops. We're looking good. So our oil pan, it will not be here tomorrow like it was supposed to. So a little stalled on that, but basically what I just realized about 4 seconds ago is that I need the oil pump and pickup out of that engine, which is still in the car, and you can't get the pan off with the engine in the car. So I have to pull that motor out and get those parts so we can slap them on our other block. I've given this like one final hose with some brake clean to kind of get the rest of the scones off of there, and she looks pretty good. So what I will do is we'll probably pull that out today or tomorrow, and then get this put together in the configuration it needs to be in to just go together once the oil pan gets here, which is probably Friday or Saturday. And then be Gucci. So hopefully that is the way this all goes, the way it's supposed to. That'd be wonderful. So I was thinking about starting to slap the parts of this engine that I actually can put on. Like the, well, actually, without the pan, all I can really do is the intake manifold, huh? So maybe we'll just put the intake on it and get that all sealed up. Although, actually, I don't want to paint the intake and I don't want to mask it off. So I'm just talking out of my butt now, but so we'll do stuff. You know what I'm saying? I gotta think out loud. So, engine. Alright, fellas, here's the scheme. I was thinking about this last night. Just tossing and turning in my sleep about whether or not I wanted to replace the oil pump and pickup before putting the engine back together. Now, the oil pump that was in the Mustang showed oil pressure. Wasn't awesome. And I know that could be the motor also, but I'm going to play it safe. I'm like, okay, well, the one that was in the 289 showed good oil pressure. But it's a 65. It's the original oil pump. And that means it is 50... What year is it? 2023? Yeah. It is 58 years old. So we're gonna get another one. It's like, it's a whole bunch of dollars that I don't want to spend. But I really don't want to be in this motor ever again. So we're gonna go ahead and just go down to the parts house and buy brand new milling stuff. Should be like 130 bucks that I don't really want to spend, like at all, actually. But because this engine has to survive 54 billion miles, then, you know, we're gonna do it. I'm not happy about it, but we're gonna do it. Yep. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. So, we are, you know, we've done stuff to the anyway, so we've done some stuff, and we got to do more stuff. I don't want to bolt the intake on yet because I don't want to get paint on it, and I don't want to mask the whole thing because I just spent all that time cleaning it. So I think the plan is figure, in the spirit of not doing nothing. That guy wasn't wearing a helmet. That's real smart. We can start unbolting some of this junk. Get that out of there. The idea here is to reuse the factory exhaust here. Trying to save some money since we're so wildly over budget on this project already. So we're going to try and reuse what's on the car. Just 2-into-1, 2.5. It's not bad. For the kind of power this engine's going to make, yeah, it's not really going to do nothing. So I'm not worried about it being a restriction or anything like that until we start going a little animal down the road with this engine. Maybe, you know, big hog cam and aluminum heads and maybe a high-rise single plane or something. Anyway, for now, we're going to reuse that. all the coolant that was left in the block is recycling itself. Gonna put the car on some jack stands. We also gotta get the starter. That was the other thing I forgot. But now that I know the trick to getting Fox body starters out, that won't take too long. Maybe I shouldn't lean on that until we put it on jack stands, huh? Still going. So, starter, exhaust, motor mounts, bell housing, out. All right, so far, good news-ish. The engine leaked so much oil from everywhere that everything's kind of covered and didn't get rusty. So every bolt that I've touched so far is come out pretty politely. The bell housing bolts are coming out nice. I already have both motor mount bolts out. The exhaust, however, was not playing nice, which is what I was worried about. They have so many heat cycles, they seize up. It's no good for anybody. So the way I'm thinking I'm gonna do it is we'll get the bell housing bolts out. I already have the motor mount bolts out. I'm just gonna hook a chain to this thing and wibble wobble it this way until it comes on out of there. And then I can climb in the engine bay and get an actual like ratchet on those exhaust studs and bust those off. And then once those break, you know, we'll figure out how we're going to drill those out, or, you know, run the car with open headers. We'll think of something. Like I said, today's Thursday, which means this video will be specifically getting this engine prepped for the car and getting this one out. So, sorry, teaser. Next week's video will be the new engine in the car, getting her tuned up, and probably our first drive. So, we'll see. But there's your loose plan. Very loose. So loose. Hand-tight plan. Not even hand-tight. Just 2 threads in there. You know what I mean. We'll figure it out. Y'all know you have enough extensions when you take the gun and do this, and it just wobbles violently. Oh, Jesus! Ow! Okay. Ow. See, learning. Don't do that. That was easy. Nope. Anyway, so that's out. Bell housing bolts are all out. All that's left is to lift, I guess. Hook a chain to this thing and rip it out of here. There's so much nonsense in here that I just cannot wait to throw away. I don't even know what 90% of this does. That one goes to the air cleaner lid. I know that. That one's broken. That one's taped to that. Listen, the only ones I give a crap about are vacuum advance, power brakes, cruise control. That is it. I literally don't care about anything else. So, as far as vacuum is concerned, so delete. I think I've decided I'm going to call it for today. I didn't do a whole lot, to be honest, but I did get some stuff done. We got the that nonsense and that and bolts, and basically tomorrow when I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and care, we can hook a chain to this thing and start pulling on stuff and test the tensile strength of all these old vacuum lines and whatnot. So that'll be tomorrow. We'll probably pull that oil filter off too, just to give us some clearance. Maybe the oil pressure sender as well. And then, you know. Alright, it is a day. I just got home from work. Got some presents here from LMR. So now we can take all of these parts, bolt them onto that engine, and give it the old powder coat treatment. And she'll be done. So I'm just gonna do it. We're just gonna get started. And I'm gonna play music, so I'm gonna mute this video so I can listen to music that's not royalty free, because as great as all those royalty free jams you hear in my sequences are, they are certainly lacking in Judas Priest and Black Sabbath, Wanger, Whitesnake, Led Zeppelin, Sammy Hagar, Van Halen. everybody. Last coat is drying. I think I'm done anyway. That is white. It's kind of hard to tell with the yellow lighting I have in here, but this thing is a great shade of frost white, basically. I got the idea for this from an old Hot Rod magazine article a long time ago. Early 2000s sometime. Some of you who read may remember the Mighty Mouse 350 David Freiberger put together. Zoomies spit fire on the dyno. I thought that was cool, so we're gonna copy. The camera died somewhere through assembly, I'm sorry, but we did not paint the intake. It's still bare aluminum. I suppose we can take some of this tape off. I never cleaned that up yet. There's our original iron block color. Those 302 heads. Peel. Kept the gasket surfaces nice and clean. This oil filter is just kind of sitting on there to keep that nice. We'll wait till that dries just in case it drips or whatever. Where's the end of that one? And then obviously we covered the crank snout too, because that's a press fit. And these are the old plugs. Now they're white. Now they're garbage. Actually, this is pretty tacky. I think I'm just gonna... Boop. This isn't the correct filter. But because this was brand new, I'm just gonna put it back in the box, because a white oil filter will still filter oil. Put that back in the oil filter section of the garage. But yeah, she's white.
But still very sketchy.
Unbelievably sketchy. I know I promised to show you that first thing, but you have to wait my video, because we're pulling this now. Don't worry about the angle. What I'm going to do is sit on the radiator and put my boot on it so it doesn't put a hole in it. Yep, here we go. Well, except for the antifreeze that's in it. But we'll just
Ignore that.
put that over there. It's fine. Now it's a brand new filter. I'm just gonna screw it on. I'm just doing it. You clean up the surface, and I'm putting it on.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna film it. Oh, dude, that like really does just go in perfectly.
It does, yeah. Listen, here at Road Hazard, we build performance, purpose-built racing motors, okay? And anybody who races engines, you know, builds racing motors will tell you to just reuse your oil filter.
They're not cheap. You know, they're pretty expensive, you know.
Listen, that's a Wix 51068, all right? That there's like $14.
Yeah, you
I
can't
just
just go around throwing $14
I
away.
just saved $14. And like I said, I'm going to change it after the break-in, so.
It will
Fine.
work.
We're good. So the carburetor, headers, and valve covers are just sitting on there right now, but tell me that's not a vibe. Yeah. Oh, man. These 30-year-old Edelbrock valve covers are about as clean as I can get them with what I have here. I used to have some Turtle Wax chrome polish, which I was actually going to use on this, but I can't find the jar, so this is degreaser and brake clean. But yeah, they're very old, so there's a little bit of, you know, sponge, but ignore the sponge. Look at that. I almost wish I left the oil pan black. But I think this will do. What a vibe. Last thing we got to do here is finish cleaning up some of these parts that we're going to reuse. Those are the motor mounts. A couple of brackets that just got some dust and dirt on them. They're not grimy or nothing because they were far enough away from the horribly leaking engine that they're just dirty. So we'll clean all that stuff up. We'll do that off camera. It's pretty boring. So that's going to do it for this episode of Road Hazard. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you. I really do. I promise. And we'll see you guys next time when we drop that beautiful 289 in that hole. Peace out, guys.